Hello, and this is Megan for Poke Review. How are we doing today? I just wanted to do a quick roundup on Pokemon movies. I'm going to try to see if I can get all the Pokemon movies and review them to my liking. And these will be just short, simple, little snippets of what I believe of each movie. Their goods, their bads, their uglies, which actually there are quite a few of uglies in the Pokemon movies. But I want to start with the first movie. It's the first one in line. I was going to do 2000 first because I didn't want the opinions of other people who have reviewed the first movie to be in the way, but I figure there's always a way I can still express my feelings without copycatting people. But anyway, I hope that you enjoy my opinion, and if you have your own opinion, comment below and we'll get started. What? Oh, I missed! So I guess you can understand that I have seen multiple scenes that actually have been removed from the original movie. And a lot of people are like, well, just watch the original. I'm like, that's no fun. For sure, I definitely kind of pretty much enjoyed, actually, the original intro. And just to briefly say, I'm kind of indifferent on them taking it out of the original cut. I mean, it's a good idea that they kept the young Mewtwo in. It would have been nice, because then we get to see why Mewtwo's so angry when he first comes into the world. And he's like, so I'm just an experiment? Well, there's no moral build on that, because he just woken up. Well, at least with the baby Mewtwo thing, we get an idea of where that anger could have came from. However, it's a good thing we did remove it, because in the sense that the girl that he interacts in the beginning, and we're talking about the whole scientist girl with baby Mewtwo, and you can actually find it on YouTube, the scientist, we assume he dies, with the interaction with that is no longer there. So it seems almost ignorant to put that in when we don't get any interaction from the scientist anymore, because the girl's gone, the scientist is gone, and now there's nothing to fall back on. So I can see why they took it out, but I really kind of actually hoped that they would have actually kept it in. Now granted, the movie came out, it came out in July of 2000. No, 98? I'll put an annotation or something. Anyway, so the movie came out when I was really young. Now, the thing about the first movie is I really liked the first movie. Kind of. Oh, I scored! Now, what I mean by maybe kind of liked it is only in the sense of my opinions on it now. Obviously, I am an adult, so my opinions are vast and different. But as a kid, I did love this movie a lot. Pokemon was constantly brainwashing my mind as a kid, and it still kind of does to this day, not quite to that extremity. And the movie does show some very interesting points, that fighting is very much indeed wrong, except that's what Pokemon is based off of. And they end up forgetting it because of Mewtwo. Yeah. And so this movie showed a very good upcoming. The soundtrack was really good. I really liked the soundtrack. It was very interesting. And the animation flow is obviously old school. It's not anything fancy, but at least it's nothing like the Digimon movies were in comparison to its series. At least it wasn't very drastically different. And it isn't even that drastically different to this day. But this is the only Pokemon movie that does not have CG in it. And I am so glad it did not have any CG. As far as I can tell, it did not have any CG, thank God. There's only really a couple of complaints I really had about the movie. First off, somehow Pikachu defeated Golem with a Thunderbolt. I think it was a Golem. It was either that or a Graveler. It was a rock-type Pokemon. And Ash defeated it with a Pikachu using Thunderbolt. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, we also see that this lesson, obviously the lesson that they learned gets erased, but halfway through the movie, we see Team Rocket! Oh my god, there's not a single movie without Team Rocket! Hooray, Team Rocket! But they are in and they're Vikings, and they're like, got this accent that makes no sense. And Ash is like, yeah, they also live in Minnesota. I didn't know Vikings still exist. Are you serious, guys? Really? That's where my line is drawn, is they need to quit putting stupid catchphrases in these movies. They think they're so cool, and they're not. They think that they're just the tough shit of the town by adding culture references. And we could go on about 4Kids editing stuff out, and I don't even want to know what they edited in the movie. But basically, all in all, we can all basically know that the first movie set the bar. It was a $30 million budgeted movie made I think approximately 165 million, 160 million approximately in its first run. And that's not including the toys and the promotional, stuff that they gave away for the tickets and everything. I'm sorry, I think the first movie did an amazing job. Not this movie, but other movies after it slowly started steering away with having any relation to the series, other than who his friends were as he was traveling with them, what clothes he was wearing, and what Pokemon he had. There was no connection. The strongest connection that the movie ever had with the series was the first movie, and that was because we see Mewtwo shooting out of Giovanni's gym, not only in the movie, but in a Pokemon episode. That relation is strong, and we had that. There was some correlation in the second movie, but I don't think off the top of my head, I'd have to watch it again. The third movie have it. So, the first movie, they were like, yay, connection to the series. Second movie, they were like, oh, we'll put a little bit of a connection. Third season, they were like, nope. Friends, you're all the same. Clothes, you're all the same. And the Pokemon that you have, you're all the same too. As the series. So, I'm actually very agitated by that. Let's base it off of this. As a movie itself, and not being shown the realization that, oh my gosh, we learned a very important lesson. The fighting is like, this is wrong, and then they, like, forget it because of Mewtwo. Knowing that has dropped it 2 numbers. I was going to give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 Pokeballs, but because we are taught that, oh no, we're going to forget everything, I gotta give it a 7.5 Pokeballs out of 10, simply because of that realization that was made to me by another webcast did something like that, saying that, oh no, look at that, you've forgotten everything you just learned. Hey kids, guess what? You can just ignore that whole movie that you just watched. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned. I will review Pokemon 2000 next. I just watched that like 4 or 5 times in the past like 6 months, so hopefully that movie's like embroiled in my brain. But I got a feeling that the second movie is going to be easier to review, because I've gone over it like 15,000 times in my brain. So, I will be talking to you all later. Peace out.